Hello, listeners. Hi, my name is Madhavi, and I'm so happy to have you on UppTalk. You have come to the right place if you want to learn about IT and do really cool things with your hands. We are not just another IT company when I say UppTalk. Think of us as your learning partner dedicated to helping you reach your full potential. We have top notch hands on courses to help you build your business, whether you are new to technology or want to move up in your current job. Let's look around this as our first step towards learning.
If it is a manager, it will be returning SS. If it is not a manager, it will not be true. That is available. Fields and detailed data fields. I can filter with active employees. Now I wanted to make my matrix to be populated in a format how I wanted to have. I can select a format in both chart and table and chart options. I can select column stack. This is a default option. When you select a column stack or any of the chart type, you will be getting the matrix actually, which needs to be populated. Legend in the sense you will be getting a kind of box, kind of things which will be populating the country names of the employees. Then give title if you are going with row grouping and column grouping. If you wanted to give title for each of the grouping, you can actually give them here. That should work for now. There is something which can be shared in advance. Since we don't have any options to be selected in advance, report. Now, if I run the report should return the count of the employees based on country. Since we have selected both tabular and chart format, we got table format and chart format. And United States, you can see 3980 employees. You can see, and since we have selected the drillable fields, these are the drillable fields job profile, location, management level, management level. Suppose their organization we want to see by job profile. Click on that, we will be able to see how many job profiles are there. The count of each job profile you can see. Similarly, you can also go how many supervisor organizations are there. What would be the count of each employees from the supervisor organizations you can get? These are the supervisor organizations, and these are the count of people occupied in your supervisor organizations. This is what I was referring. You can drill down into the data from the output of the report. And this is the only option that you will have, only matters. You cannot have this option in any other report. Each of the drillable field, you can find the count that you have specified and the chart kind of things. You can actually find same information that you are seeing here. You can find the same information here. You can actually see the count for each country when you place your cursor on the particular country. These are nothing but metrics which you have selected in your output, your chart output of the report type that you are selecting. You have given metrics types. This is what your metric was populated. And even in count. Also, you can get into the details and find out this thing. The detailed data you can find when you click on the details, the detailed data field that you have given those fields, and all you will be getting when you get into details. Actually, when you get the view details, you will be getting all the detailed data fields that you have given. That is how matrix report will be populating itself. Its data, and they can select any of the chart type that you wanted to have. You can also do in a pivot, in a donut, in any kind of format that you wanted to have. It is completely based on your business requirement, how you wanted to actually populate the data. And remember, this cannot be downloadable even if you download the chart that you are seeing, and matrix report cannot be populated as it is. The moment you download, it will be populated in a in a spreadsheet format. All the data will be getting in a spreadsheet. The charts that you are seeing on the view visual of the report will not be able to find the chart information in the spreadsheet. Now I selected chart type as donut. You will be getting all the countries, the count specifically. Specify the cursor or the color. You will be getting the actual count. That is the kind of donut kind of chart information. Haber is the same. And you can also go into each of these things and make your data of how you want it to see. You can actually select this one, and generally you can see the data can be changed here. You can see how the data can be populated based on your selection. That will be highlighted here. That is how you can play around with matrix report. Here you can have the count. From the count, you can actually find out the details of detailed data and drillable data. Even if you export into PDF, you might get the chart information, but when you are actually doing in Excel, you will not be. Let me try to do PDF and you will try this option. But most of the cases, you will not be downloading any of the reporting information. Sensitive information cannot be downloaded. Even employment information also you cannot be downloading. For backup, that is a kind of different case. You wanted to download just a backup. If the tenant is getting refreshed that you can have any document which you can recreate based on there is a requirement, you are good, but downloading the data and keeping the tenant keeping in the local system is generally not allowed actually. Let me see if it actually populates. Even in PDF, also it does not come in a chart format. Even if you download in PDF, you will not be getting any kind of chart formats. You will be getting the data. That is it. Any questions for? And as I said, you can also disable that available kind of option if you go to drill down. You have an option to disable the drill down. You can actually select this option. Drillable option shouldn't be for any of the business user that they will not able to drill down into the report after running. Now I have selected the disable drillable things to drill down into the data. You will see whether I will be able to drill down or not. I don't have an option to drill down. See, the option I used to have got disabled. I am not able to drill down into the data. If there is any kind of personal information or confidential information, the drill down into the data will disable that for business users to drill down into the data. Any questions till now on matrix support? Is there option to disable for a particular field like before you show it for the whole thing, right? This is for everything. No, we cannot disable for particular like selected fields. No, based on specific field, you cannot actually. Or for specific fields, you cannot disable because either you can actually remove that one. If you want specific fields to not be populated, you can actually remove that one. The option that I was referring, all the drillable fields should not be giving an option to drill down into those fields. If there is no option to drill down, we will not be able to drill down into any of the field. But for one field, there is no specific option. To allow for few fields and not allow for few fields, there is no specific option. Now I am going column grouping, row grouping as country, column grouping as suppose, row dimension. We will see how it runs. These are all the suppose row dimension names. This is row grouping. This is column grouping. This is column grouping, and the one that you are seeing country is a row grouping. This is where data is grouped based on suppose row dimension also. For India, this suppose row dimension has 72, and for United Kingdom's year, and for India global support, Canada has 4, and for India this one has 36 members. Like this, you can actually group the data based on the suppose row dimension. Then have all the suppose row dimensions coming up in the report. Like this, you will be getting multiple requirements to actually add the data or group the data based on country, based on region, based on the location. You will be getting mostly remember when you are actually creating. You might be asked to prepare headcount reports by gender, headcount reports by suppose the organization, headcount reports by location. There are multiple headcount reports that you might be asked based on different kinds of case. Based on gender, you might ask to create headcount report. Based on age group, you might ask to create headcount report. Based on, suppose, your organization based on disability, all these things you might be asked. Mostly you will be getting straightforward fields to get the data. If you are not getting, you will be creating a calculated field and add that calculated field. You will see disability is there. You are not able to find that delivered field that actually gives you the employee disability information. You will be actually creating a correct field to get that information and make sure that you will be loading that one. You can also give multiple row groupings in a matrix report. As I said, right, you can give A is a maximum, 8 you can give, but minimum is 1, and you can give 2 or 3 or 4, 5 row grouping definitions through which your report will be executing that one. Let us say if I wanted to add few more row groupings, but generally 1 to 1 will be the kind of request that you will be getting, but there is an option you can add multiple row groupings. But in most of the cases, you will be taking only one grouping, one row grouping. That makes you clear visibility when you are running a report. Now location address, country is my one of the row grouping. I will say age group. I will say based on age. I have already actually populated that one. I will give age also. Let us see how this works. You will see one more row grouping is added here. Like this, you can add maximum a row groupings. And column groupings, maximum you can add 2 groupings. This would be your question also. How many maximum row groupings that we can add in a matrix report? This would be your certification and interview question. I do not think these you know the deep questions. Interviewers might also not know, but product owner, which is Workday. When you are attending Workday certification, when you are attending Workday test out examinations, it is their product. They know each of the option that their product has. Probably most of the interviewers might not know these questions, these options. You will be not getting these very important but very minute kind of questions. They might not know and they might not ask. But when you are attending a workday for any training, for any test out, for any kind of certifications, you will be definitely asked these questions. What is the maximum number of row groupings that matrix report allows? What should be your answer? 8 is the maximum number. Minimum should be. What about column grouping? Column grouping can have the two. Those are optional actually. And what is the report that allows you to build down into the data from the output of the report? Matrix report. Matrix report is the only report that provides this option. No other report can give you this option. You have similar kind of format that you will be getting in trended report. Trended report also can give you the same kind of format when you run, but it does not have an option to drill down into the fields. You will not see drillable fields that you can add in trended reports. But the way that you have created here, everything will be the same for trended report also. If you wanted to view the trends of the data, trends of termination, trends of attrition, trends of hiring, or if you wanted to know, you will be going with trended data source, trended report with trended data source. But you will not have the option that matrix report is giving drilling down into the fields, and all trended report will not give that option. Any questions for? Sometimes you might be asked you wanted to get average. Instead of count, you wanted to get the average. You will be selecting average option here. You wanted to know the percentage. Instead of count, you wanted to know the percentage. All these things, you can actually make changes in summarization data. Rather than count, if someone is requiring percentage or average sum, all those things can be performed in summarization options. Thank you. Thank you. Nothing more to do, sirs. I have to go to the next slide. You want to know. This kind of request you will be getting from business actually. I wanted to know the average count of an employee's average of location of each country. You will be getting from business actually. Now data format has got changed. This is here. Since we have selected age, the percentage is populating. Percentage of each age group is populating. Now you can see. Now we have United States of America, we have 17th. This is not a kind of good example, but it can take count exactly the kind of a percentage that we are getting, which is actually populating as a kind of percentage. This much of population is covering this kind of percentage. But when you have some kind of percentage kind of data, salary kind of things, when you have salary kind of things, that you wanted to populate in a percentage. How many employees has got rating for this percentage? For number one rating, how much? What is the percentage of employees for this setting? What is the percentage of employees? If you have such kind of requirements, you can actually play around. Now I have taken age group. Age group is giving this, but age group is not a kind of good example, just enough for you to understand. I have given a kind of average actually, but you can give in any way that you want it to have. There is no kind of restriction. You will be getting a kind of request from business actually. What to be percentage, what to be average. You will be getting whether it has to be percentage, it has to be a count, it has to be a sum, it has to be a calculation. You are getting a kind of request. Or if you are getting good hands on, you can recommend what would be the right approach to actually populate the data. If you create, you will be getting multiple ideas. This option is giving this feature and how this can be done in a different way or all. You will be getting different options. If you do hands-on, you will be getting that option. If you are not doing hands-on, you will be not getting clear understanding of options we have in the matrix report. And maybe at least missing one or two things. I am trying to cover everything, but at least few things, few small things. You will be missing when I am actually delivering. Those, if you get some kind of hands-on, since you are new to the product, you will be able to see those options. Since I know the complete things around somewhere and I feel that this is very small thing that I might be missing, covering that one. When you are doing some kind of hands-on. Since you are new to the system, you will be trying to understand every option that report has. When you are not clear on any of the option that we have not discussed in the session, you will be getting a chance to raise a question on that one. That is the reason why I was asking you to actually, because reporting is very important. Adding reporting skills to your resume, including integrations, including function, will give you more strength. And if you are aware of planning matrix report complete, if you are aware of advanced report with multiple scenarios with related with subfilter, and all those are required, actually, required knowledge for managing complete reporting part. Now, if you are aware of complete Indian information matrix report, you are good at most of the requirements that you will be getting based on what we discussed now. There is nothing other than what we have discussed you will be getting. Probably you might be asked in different ways in the session. We are actually looking for count and average, but probably in your requirement, you might be asked to look for calculation, to look for some kind of things which are similar as what we have done. That is it. Everything will be what we discussed. It will not be anything that we have not discussed. There is nothing that we have not discussed. But in case, if you are practicing, you can identify few things, few options that we have not covered. Any questions, Fa? When you get a chance, create a matrix report. Today we have seen based on country, we have seen based on age, that we have seen. Probably you can try with different options. You can try with just age group, just a manager cost center. You can try multiple. You can group the data with multiple field definitions and see how the data will be populated. That you will get to know how matrix report works, comparative with advanced and other reports. Can you please show the initial step, like creation of this matrix report and selecting the data source, like all active and terminator employees? The moment we actually select the data source, you will be getting to this definition. And you will be giving what groupings that you wanted to give here. I have given location, address, country, but you can go with your own approach. You can give location, you can give just age, you can give supervisor organization, you can give manager, any of the things that you can do. That will group by based on the information that you are giving. Similarly, if you wanted to go with column grouping also, you can do. These are the fields that you are giving to drill down into the data, but you can actually disable them by selecting the option. Anything. Is that what you were asking to actually show, or anything else? Like here, when trying to select the data source, the options are given like by category, all then by category and primary business object, like that. This all active and terminator workers can be obtained from which option? Can I know that? You can actually uncheck the checkbox. You must be seeing the checkbox checking. Uncheck the checkbox and select all active and terminator. Active and terminator is a standard data source. You will not be getting standard data source when, let me see how you are getting this one. All active and terminator is a standard data source. If you are selecting data sources when you are checking the checkbox, you will not be getting standard data source. You will be getting index data source. It will not be showing standard data source. If you uncheck this checkbox, it will show you the standard sources. You can take any of the source that works for workers. Similarly, you can actually create on positions. If someone wanted to know country-wide positions, how many positions are open, such kind of things. They wanted to know requisitions in a country wide, how many requisitions are open, or based on the title, how many positions are open. Those kind of information also. You can do a good reporting with Matrix, which will give clear information on the data values. Please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us sales@therightuptalk.com.